have a very convincing potential tropical storm in the Atlantic, as well as another potential tropical storm in the Pacific. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Now let's get right on into it. So we're starting off with the Atlantic, and then we'll move into the East Pacific. So right now, absolutely nothing. Next 5 days, nothing. There's two blocking high pressures, just nothing here. So where does this thing come from? The Caribbean. So the Caribbean's been where we've been watching for, what is the past week? So storm system forms right in between Jamaica and Cuba. This is going to start moving to the north. Now, this takes a very good track just based on this high pressure here, because it has a bunch of open water here in the Gulf, which the Gulf is notorious for storms that intensify very quickly. So this storm starts to intensify. As soon as it gets into the Gulf, it starts to intensify, and this makes landfall very close to where Hurricane Michael made landfall. Now, this seems like it's very, I wouldn't say very well put together, but it does seem like a strong tropical storm. I'd say that it's probably a mid-class tropical storm. So it's right in there, but this is definitely a tropical storm if it forms, and I'd be very concerned if this was closer to now, but this is about 2 weeks out, so I'd give this a 10 to 20% chance of happening. Now, in terms of something forming before the 19th of June, I'd give that a 30 or 40% chance, just because we've seen the GFS put something in the ballpark of a Caribbean storm that starts to move north. Either it moves north to the Atlantic or the Gulf, or it starts to move northwest, stay in the Caribbean, and make landfall somewhere. So we have been seeing that trend, and with all of this, especially now that it's very quiet, it's all about looking at trends and trying to get percent chances based on that. So as of right now, I'd give this a 10 to 20% chance. Something forming, 30 to 40% chance. Now, in the East Pacific, we have better odds because the National Weather Service is already giving this a 10% chance of formation in the next 48 hours and 30% chance in 5 days. So this storm system right here, low pressure forms, kind of tries to get a grip. We see a little bit of development, and we get a small tropical storm gain some strength, and it's pretty long-lived too. It goes off the map as it's starting to weaken here. So it goes the entire eastern Pacific basin before starting to weaken. It's right on the border there with the central Pacific basin. But this storm is very promising at this point. It's very likely that we see this form in the next, 10 days. I'd give this a probably 50 or 60% chance of that forming in the next 10 days. Probably more as we get closer to it. But we're going to look at the National Weather Service odds probably either sometime over the weekend or even next week if the odds aren't that high. But I'd give this a pretty solid chance of forming, just because we've seen this on the GFS for probably the last 2 or 3 days, probably even more than that. Then we're starting to see the National Weather Service pick up on this, National Hurricane Center, and that's a pretty good indicator that we have a pretty solid storm in our hands, that we've been seeing it on all the models. It seems like it's maintaining that same strength with a little bit of variability. We have had some model runs showing it as a hurricane, most likely tropical storm, but I'd give this a 50-60% chance as of right now, but that could change. But that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.